Welcome to the deep dive, where we take your sources, really peel back the layers, and try to unearth those surprising insights that, turn information into actual understanding.
Yeah, getting beyond just the headline.
Exactly. And today we're diving into a story that, honestly, it makes you rethink the whole idea of influence. Just picture this scene for a second.
Okay.
You've got a world-renowned chef, Jamie Oliver. A guy whose personal fortune, as of 2025, is somewhere around like a staggering $200 million.
Wow. That's serious money.
It is. And he's not standing in some fancy Michelin-starred kitchen. He's right there in front of a group of American school children.
Right, in a school setting.
Yeah, and in his hand, he's holding this tray, but it's not, perfectly plated food. It's those school cafeteria staples we all kind of remember.
Oh no, don't tell me. Soggy fries.
Soggy fries, bland chicken nuggets, that kind of thing. It's just this really stark, almost, gut-wrenching contrast. It grabs you immediately.
And if you got zoomed out from that picture, you'd see the background, which is just as important.
What's back there?
Behind him, there's this huge banner. And on it, a number that just speaks volumes. 1.6 million signatures.
1.6 million. Wow.
Yeah. And these aren't just like random names clicked online. They represent this massive collective demand for a real shift, a change in how we teach kids about food.
So it's more than just a number.
Oh, absolutely. It's the silent but kind of deafening voice of millions saying, we need something better. A fundamental change in how we think about health and education.
That's right. And in that moment, Jamie Oliver, he doesn't give some big fiery speech or anything.
No, what does he do?
He just asks this really poignant, almost deceptively simple question. He looks at these kids, but really he's asking the whole country.
Okay.
Is this what we want to feed the future of America?
Oof, powerful.
And what comes next isn't like shouting or debate. It's just silence.
Really?
Just silence.
Yeah, this heavy, weighty silence that says everything about how serious that moment was and, the uncomfortable truth he just laid bare. It's like the audible weight of a nation suddenly having to look at what it's feeding its kids.
Exactly. That uncomfortable reflection on, our own complicity, our responsibility, and all the systemic stuff hidden behind those, seemingly harmless nuggets.
Yeah, that scene pretty much sums up what we're diving into today, doesn't it?
It really does.
We're going to unpack Jamie Oliver's incredible journey. It was often challenging, let's be honest.
For sure.
We'll look at exactly how his personal wealth, his considerable influence, and this huge wave of public support, how it all came together to ignite and, crucially, sustain this movement for healthier eating in America.
It's such a fascinating paradox when you think about it.
How so?
Well, Jamie Oliver, right. Not just a celebrity chef, but an individual with an estimated $200 million net worth.
Right. Huge success.
Huge success. And the compelling thing, the paradox, is instead of just kicking back and enjoying that fortune, living the comfortable life.
Which he easily could have done.
Totally. He consciously chose to leverage it, to put his money where his mouth was, basically, and spark this global movement focused purely on food education for children.
He saw his wealth not just as, personal gain, but as a tool, a powerful tool for change.
Yeah. And the impact, it's staggering.
The numbers are pretty incredible. Gathering over 1.6 million signatures worldwide. That's a massive achievement for any advocacy campaign, let alone one started by an individual chef.
And it wasn't just happening in, London or New York.
No, not at all. The scope stretched way beyond that. It reached into those humble, often really underfunded school cafeterias, places like Huntington, West Virginia.
A place a lot of people had kind of written off, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seen as a lost cause by some. But it also reached into family kitchens right across the United States. His mission was fundamental. Shift how the entire nation thought about its relationship with food, from the plate right up to policy.
So the core idea of this deep dive, it's not just about nutrition or even just cooking, though those are obviously important.
Right. It's bigger than that.
Yeah. It's about how one person's passion, real, unwavering passion, combined with really strategic action and, frankly, the courage to put his own money and reputation on the line.
Yeah, that took guts.
How that can profoundly influence the future of a whole nation. So over the next half hour or so, we're going to walk through the specific strategies he used.
Okay.
Those viral moments that just captured everyone's attention and forced some difficult conversations.
Yep, the ones you couldn't ignore.
And the long-term vision that made Jamie Oliver's food revolution so incredibly impactful. It's a journey that I think holds powerful lessons for all of us about agency, about making change happen, and the unexpected power one person can have.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Okay, let's unpack this first big piece, how Jamie Oliver actually used his wealth, that immense wealth, as a tool for, well, transformative change.
Right, the $200 million question, so to speak.
Exactly. His journey from being this young, kind of eager chef in London to a global household name, that's a story in itself.
He blew up pretty fast.
Totally. And by 2025, yeah, around $200 million net worth. Just think about that kind of capital, the comfort, the security it brings.
For sure. And it wasn't just one thing, right? It was cookbooks, TV shows.
A whole empire. Best-selling cookbooks that genuinely changed how people cooked at home. TV shows that broke records were hugely popular. Successful restaurants bringing decent food to more people. And smart brand partnerships, too. But ones that generally aligned with his food philosophy.
And that's what's really remarkable, I think. Not just the amount of money, but the deliberate, ethical choice he made about using it.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. So many celebrity chefs, they cash in by endorsing processed stuff. You see their faces on sugary cereals, fast food deals, convenience snacks.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
But Jamie Oliver, he went the complete opposite way. He actively and often really controversially challenged junk food culture head-on.
That couldn't have been easy. Or popular with everyone.
Definitely not. It wasn't a safe move for his brand or his wallet. It carried huge risks. He got tons of criticism from powerful food corporations, obviously. They had a lot invested in keeping things the way they were.
Right. Big Food wasn't happy.
Not at all. And even parts of the public pushed back. People resistant to change, maybe feeling like he was being preachy, telling them what to eat.
Yeah, that food police criticism.
Exactly. He could have easily just enjoyed the profits and stayed quiet. But he chose confrontation. He chose trying to make a change.
Yeah. It's easy to criticize from the sidelines, isn't it? But he put his reputation and his own money right on the line.
He really did. He clearly understood that wealth wasn't just for building a bigger house or collecting more stuff. He saw it as leverage, a tool to create public good. A way to amplify the message he cared so deeply about.
So when he launched the food revolution in the U.S., it wasn't just like a celebrity endorsement.
Not even close. He didn't just lend his name or show up for a few photo ops. He poured significant personal resources directly into funding grassroots education programs.
Like what kind of programs?
Like tangible investments. Setting up and subsidizing cooking schools, especially in underserved areas, to teach basic cooking skills. Developing actual curricula for schools to use. And producing high-impact media documentaries, web series designed specifically to shift how people saw food. Exposing the hidden stuff, but also celebrating the potential of real food.
So it was about building infrastructure, not just awareness.
Precisely. What's really key here is his deep understanding that, and I think he even said this, real influence comes with responsibility. He knew talking wasn't enough. He had to enable the change, create the structures for it to actually happen.
How did he do that?
He meticulously used his financial clout to build partnerships, crucial ones. He worked with schools, giving them resources for, say, kitchen upgrades or staff training.
Practical stuff.
Very practical. He engaged with local communities, setting up food hubs, educational initiatives. He even worked with local governments, pushing for policy changes to support healthier food environments.
So a multi-pronged attack, basically.
Exactly. It wasn't just about raising awareness. It was about building access to better food, access to practical education, access to the tools people needed for sustainable, long-term change in their eating habits. He wasn't just preaching, he was facilitating.
And this is where it gets really interesting, maybe especially for us listening now, the idea of a replicable model of responsibility.
Yeah, that's perhaps the most compelling part of his whole strategy. It wasn't just his personal investment, which was huge, obviously. It was the message it sent to everyone else.
Which was?
Basically, look, not everyone has $200 million. We get that. But his actions showed that everyone, regardless of how much money they have, can invest in better food choices.
Starting small.
Starting right in their own families, their own kitchens, with simple everyday decisions. He was demystifying healthy eating, making it feel achievable, not like some elite thing.
So it reframed the whole conversation about wealth.
Absolutely. It moved beyond just seeing money as, a measure of success or a way to buy luxury goods. It showed wealth as a potent tool, an amplifier for a mission you believe in.
By putting his money where his mouth was.
Consistently funding programs, creating that content. Jamie Oliver transformed his brand from just celebrity chef into this global force for positive change. It just proved unequivocally that financial success, when you align it with purpose, can genuinely impact millions of lives.
It becomes less about personal gain.
And much more about collective uplift. A profound sense of civic duty, really.
Okay, so the wealth provided the fuel, the resources. But the real spark, arguably, was the way he harnessed public demand, specifically through that petition we mentioned earlier.
Ah, yes, the petition. That was a game changer. Back in 2015, he launched what quickly became one of the biggest food advocacy efforts we've seen in modern times. The Food Revolution Petition.
And the sources are really clear on this, right? This wasn't some sneaky marketing ploy.
No, definitely not. It wasn't about selling more books or boosting TV ratings. This was a direct, unambiguous, urgent call to governments all over the world.
Saying what?
Mandate food education for children. Make it compulsory. A fundamental policy shift driven purely by public demand, from the ground up.
And the response was pretty huge.
Astounding is probably the word. In just a few months, it gathered over 1.6 million signatures.
Wow.
And not just from one country. We're talking parents, teachers, health professionals, just concerned citizens from over 190 countries. Think about that global reach.
That's incredible mobilization.
It really is. But, as the source material points out, the numbers alone don't tell the full story. The real power was the emotional energy behind every single signature.
What do you mean?
Each name represented someone's deep belief that teaching kids how to cook, how to understand where food comes from, that it could literally save lives.
Not just from obesity, but future health problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Preventing chronic diseases, improving well-being. It was basically a collective cry for a healthier future for the next generation.
And that must have hit particularly hard here in the U.S.
Oh, definitely. Given the stubbornly high childhood obesity rates here and the growing awareness of how diet impacts lifelong health, it resonated very deeply.
And it wasn't just like an online thing that faded away.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It actively sparked vital conversations that echoed across the country. Discussions popped up in school board meetings, community centers, PTA meetings. It even reached the halls of Congress. Lawmakers had to acknowledge this rising tide of public concern.
And Jamie's core message was simple but radical.
Yeah, essentially. Cooking isn't some fancy skill for chefs. It's a basic life necessity. As fundamental as reading or writing, it's about having control over your own health. Personal sovereignty, you could say.
So he shifted the debate away from just diets.
Totally. He moved it away from, those temporary diet fads and blaming individuals and pushed it towards a bigger conversation about long-term cultural change and systemic responsibility.
How?
By framing food education explicitly as a human right, something every child deserves for their basic well-being. That elevated the whole discussion. It wasn't just about personal choice anymore. It was about systemic access to knowledge and life skills.
And the petition itself showed the power of digital activism.
Absolutely brilliantly. It was a masterclass in how social media, when used strategically with compelling visuals and emotional stories, can amplify a cause at lightning speed, reaching millions almost instantly, bypassing traditional media gatekeepers.
Right, those videos of him talking passionately.
Exactly. Those videos, often showing shocking truths about food. They didn't just get a few views, they went viral. Millions saw them. They inspired families everywhere to sign the petition, share it with their networks, and crucially take action in their own communities.
So it was that blend of personal story and collective action.
Precisely. He wasn't talking down from some celebrity pedestal. He spoke as a dad sharing his own worries, as a chef showing practical solutions, and as this really fervent advocate who genuinely believed every kid deserved the knowledge to make healthy choices.
So for Americans, it was more than just signing something online.
It was a real wake-up call. It hammered home that food literacy isn't just a nice to have. It's the foundation for a healthier nation. And that moment, it really marked a turning point. A chef's campaign became this global wave, and the U.S. was right at the heart of its impact.
Which flows perfectly into our next point, right? Those viral moments that actually reshaped how people thought and talked about food.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Janie Oliver understood something fundamental about media and how people work. Facts alone. They rarely change behavior on a mass scale.
People respond more to emotion and visuals.
Exactly. Especially in the digital age. People respond deeply to moments that stir something inside them, challenge their assumptions, and stick in their minds visually. He wasn't just delivering information. He was crafting experiences designed to provoke and educate.
He was really good at that, creating these scenes.
Meticulously crafted scenes, yeah.
Yeah.
Things that stuck in the public mind and just spread like wildfire online. These weren't accidents. They were deliberate demonstrations designed to shake people up, make them feel the problem in a way that, abstract data just never could.
Like that image, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Precisely. And one of the most unforgettable examples, the one that caused a huge uproar, was his pink slime demonstration.
Oh, I remember that. That was shocking.
It really was. Live on TV, showing American school children this processed meat product, this slimy pink blend made from beef scraps treated with ammonium hydroxide.
Skill bacteria, right.
Yeah. And the look in those kids' faces.
Yeah.
The visible shock as he explained what they might be eating, it was palpable, incredibly impactful.
And that clip just took off.
Exploded, went viral instantly across social media, reaching millions way beyond that classroom. And that raw exposure forced major food suppliers and fast food chains to either defend using it, often pretty unconvincingly, or, more significantly, to quietly rethink things and actually remove it from their products.
So it had real consequences.
Huge consequences. It shone a spotlight on something most consumers had no idea existed, sparking outrage about food safety, transparency, and the ethics of the whole supply chain.
And then there's the sugar thing too, right? With the milk.
Yes, another iconic moment, especially powerful for parents seeing what their kids got at school. He took one of those single servings of flavored milk, the kind you see everywhere in cafeterias.
Yeah, looks harmless enough.
Exactly. And he just meticulously poured 22 teaspoons of sugar into a glass, right there on camera. Scoop after scoop after scoop.
22 teaspoons. In one small carton.
Yep. And the image of that literal mountain of sugar, that stark white pile next to the innocent-looking carton, it became this incredibly potent metaphor.
Metaphor for what?
For how the food industry hides unhealthy stuff in plain sight. How they manipulate perception, packing products marketed as wholesome with hidden addictive ingredients. The visual, it was just undeniable, a real punch to the gut for anyone who thought those drinks were fine.
But these weren't just about shock value, you're saying?
No, although they certainly delivered shock. The deeper strategic goal was to trigger conversation, to get people talking in their homes, at dinner tables, in schools, even in government.
And social media amplified that.
Massively. It was the accelerant. Hashtags took off, shares went through the roof on Facebook, YouTube, and you still see clips resurfacing on TikTok now.
And critically, it led to actual change, not just talk.
Yes. Tangible outcomes.
Right.
Several major food companies quietly adjusted their formulas. Less sugar, fewer artificial colors, removing controversial ingredients. And importantly, many U.S. schools started reevaluating their menus, driven by pressure from parents and communities who'd seen these videos.
So it worked. Fusing education with entertainment.
Exactly. It created content that wasn't just viral, it was genuinely transformative. For American families, these moments were like holding up a mirror, reflecting back what they'd maybe overlooked or just didn't know about their daily diets.
Simple demos, but powerful truths.
Absolutely. Proving that one viral moment, if it's rooted in truth and delivered with conviction, can spark a national conversation in a way that policy papers or scientific reports just can't. It makes the abstract real, undeniably real.
And that real-world impact is maybe best seen in Huntington, West Virginia.
Huntington, yes.
Yeah.
That brings us to the lessons learned right there on the front lines.
When Jamie Oliver chose Huntington for his American food revolution focus, that was a deliberate choice, wasn't it? Not an easy one.
Not at all. It was almost audacious. He consciously picked a city with one of the highest obesity rates in the entire country, a place often used as a sort of case study for the public health crisis.
What were the stats like back then?
More than half the adults were overweight or obese. Diet-related illnesses like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, they were rampant, casting this long shadow over the community's future.
So a lot of people probably thought it was hopeless.
Completely. Many outsiders had written Huntington off, a lost cause, habits too ingrained to change. But Jamie, with his typical, optimism and strategic view, saw it differently.
He saw potential.
He saw it as the perfect proving ground, a crucible. Could comprehensive, community-level food education, delivered respectfully with practical solutions, actually reverse these deep-seated trends?
And he didn't just parachute in.
No way. He embedded himself, spent real time there, not just observing, but participating. Sitting with cafeteria staff during rush hour, eating with teachers, having honest conversations with families in their homes, really listening to their struggles, their skepticism, their realities about food access and time.
And his approach wasn't about blaming them.
No, that was crucial. His philosophy was clear. Not to shame, but to empower. He knew blaming individuals for systemic problems wouldn't work long term. He had to equip them.
How? What did he actually do in the schools and homes?
Okay, so in school kitchens, he didn't just hand down new menus. He introduced simple, fresh, often surprisingly tasty recipes. He physically showed the often overwhelmed cafeteria staff how to swap processed meals for wholesome ones.
Within their budgets, that's always the sticking point.
Exactly. He showed them how to do it efficiently within existing budgets without huge cost increases. That was key. And in homes, community cooking workshops, teaching parents basic, sometimes forgotten cooking skills, proving healthy, home-cooked meals were achievable, even with limited time and money. More satisfying, too.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing, right? The sources mention resistance.
Oh, absolutely. Let's be clear. It was tough. Significant resistance at every turn. Kids naturally wanted the fast food, the sugary stuff they knew. They actively resisted trying new things.
And the cafeteria staff
Often felt overwhelmed. Not just by new recipes, but the logistics. Cooking from scratch needs different equipment, supply chains, skills. It's a big shift from just heating things up.
and the parents.
Some were skeptical, understandably, questioning if this change was really possible or sustainable in their busy lives, wondering if it would actually stick or make a difference. It was a battle against decades of habit and relentless food marketing.
But something shifted, gradually.
Absolutely. It was gradual, painstaking sometimes, but a step-by-step transformation began. The culture started to shift. Kids, initially resistant, actually started identifying new vegetables, even trying them, enjoying them sometimes.
Wow.
Families started cooking together more, making meals a shared activity at connection point. Teachers noticed real changes in classrooms, more energy, better concentration, even fewer behavior issues.
So Huntington became this symbol.
A powerful symbol of what happens when knowledge intentionally replaces convenience. The experiment proved that real, lasting change is strongest when it starts locally, when the community itself embraces it.
Rather than just top-down policies.
Exactly. Instead of only relying on national mandates, Jamie showed that empowering and investing in one community can create ripples that spread way beyond its borders, influencing the whole national conversation.
So the message from Huntington was, change starts at home.
Precisely. Transformation begins in your own kitchen, your own neighborhood, and it spreads out from there. By focusing on one of the toughest places, a place many had given up on, he proved a powerful truth. No city, no family, no child is beyond hope when it comes to healthy eating.
A testament to persistent local action.
Definitely, showing that even the biggest challenges can yield to consistent effort and belief.
And that commitment to local action, combined with this bigger vision, it connects to his foresight, doesn't it? Spotting trends before they hit the mainstream.
Yeah, his foresight is actually remarkable. Long before clean eating, farm-to-table gut health became these huge buzzwords, dominating headlines and Instagram feeds.
Things we hear constantly now.
Constantly. Jamie Oliver was already passionately advocating for these very principles decades ago, pushing against the tide of the industrial food system.
Back in the early 2000s, what was he saying then?
Well, back then, the food industry was mostly focused on ultra-processed products, right?
Yeah.
Cheaper fillers, aggressive marketing for sugary snacks, fast food.
Yeah, convenience was king.
Totally. And Jamie was already sounding the alarm, talking openly, often controversially, about the dangers of hidden sugars in everyday foods, the crazy number of additives, and the worrying decline in basic cooking skills at home.
He saw a problem looming.
A huge one. He warned that without basic food literacy, generations would grow up unable to tell the difference between real, nourishing food and manufactured products designed purely for profit and shelf life, not health.
And how were his ideas received back then?
Honestly, often dismissed. Labeled idealistic, maybe naive, impractical in the face of this giant food system, critics said he was out of touch, that real families didn't have the time or money for scratch cooking.
But fast forward to today.
And the American market itself has shifted dramatically, right towards what Jamie was predicting all along. Supermarkets now shout about organic, minimally processed options. Restaurants brag about local sourcing, freshness, quality, because that's what consumers increasingly want.
And families are looking for simpler recipes.
Exactly. Seeking freshness, simplicity. It's a clear move away from that convenience at all cost mentality.
You even see on social media now.
Everywhere. Those TikTok meal preps showing healthy eating on a budget, the boon and home gardening, even backyard chickens, it's all echoing Jamie's early message. Food culture thrives when it reconnects with its roots. Fresh ingredients, home cooking.
He also seemed to grasp the emotional side of it.
Yes. That was brilliant. Instead of making healthy eating seem like a chore, a restrictive diet, a list of don'ts, he consistently framed it as empowering, joyful even, an act that connects us to our food, our families, our communities, our own bodies in a deeper way.
And that emotional framing turned his campaigns into movements.
I really think so. He made healthy eating aspirational, not just something you should do. So today, when you see countless Americans cooking more at home, reading labels, seeking local produce, sharing healthy meals online,
They're following a path he helped pave.
unknowingly perhaps, but yes, they're walking a path Jamie helped meticulously clear years ago. His foresight is amazing because it aligns with both modern nutrition science and that timeless ancient wisdom about how humans thrive through food. That's why his influence is so enduring.
And that endurance, that brings us neatly to our final section. Playing the long game, cultivating lasting change in America.
Right. Because Jamie Oliver always stressed this core philosophy, which really goes against our instant gratification culture, doesn't it?
Which is?
Transforming a nation's eating habits isn't an overnight win. It's a generational journey. This was never a sprint for him. It was a marathon, a decades-long commitment.
And he knew he'd face resistance in the U.S.
Constantly, at pretty much every level. And he understood that was just part of the process. He didn't expect it to be easy.
What kind of resistance did he keep seeing?
Well, from kids, obviously. Reluctant to try new vegetables, preferring the engineered tastes of processed foods. From overwhelmed cafeteria staff, struggling with the logistics of fresh cooking, needing training, equipment, time.
And from parents, too.
Yeah, from skeptical parents doubting if these healthy initiatives were truly sustainable or beneficial in their busy, budget-conscious lives. But crucially, Jamie didn't see these setbacks as failures.
Not reasons to quit.
Not at all. He saw them as integral, necessary parts of the slow process of cultural change. He even talked openly about his own kids going through phases of craving fast food. But he trusted that the foundation, the knowledge of good food, would eventually win out. Like planting seeds, they take time to grow.
So that long game mindset shaped his whole approach in America.
Profoundly. Instead of just short-term campaigns that grab headlines then fade, he focused on embedding skills, fostering awareness that would hopefully outlast any specific program.
Building sustainable capacity.
Exactly. Making sure schools had access to training, not just recipes, so staff could cook fresh food efficiently. Ensuring parents had practical tools and simple, affordable recipes for everyday meals. And crucially, helping kids gain the confidence and knowledge to make their own informed food choices as they got older. Aiming for self-sufficiency, not dependence.
And did this patient approach actually show results?
It did. Remarkably, studies started showing tangible impacts. Schools implementing his fresh cooking programs reported improvements not just in student health, lower obesity rates, better nutrition, but also in academic performance, better energy, concentration, attendance.
Wow, academics too.
Yeah. And in communities that really embraced his teachings, widespread reports of more families cooking together, relying less on processed food, a general increase in food literacy.
But beyond the measurable stuff,
There was something even more powerful, maybe intangible, but profound. A shift in mindset. He expertly reframed healthy eating, not as restriction or punishment, but as freedom.
freedom from what?
Freedom from disease, freedom from dependency on giant food corporations, and freedom from those cycles of poor nutrition that had trapped so many families for generations.
So for Americans listening, the lesson is about patience, persistence.
Absolutely. His long game strategy is a powerful reminder that real, meaningful change comes from patience and just unwavering persistence. It's not about one big fix. It's the compounding effect of countless small actions repeated over time.
Like teaching one kid to cook.
Inspiring one parent to choose fresh produce. Helping one school cafeteria make better meals. Over years, these small things add up to a huge cultural transformation.
So by playing the long game,
Jamie Oliver didn't just run a campaign. He planted deep, resilient seeds of change. And those seeds are still growing. Proving the fight for better food isn't just temporary, it's a lasting legacy across generations.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive on Jamie Oliver's journey in America, the core lesson really crystallizes, doesn't it?
It really does. True influence isn't just about how much wealth you pile up. It's about how you use that wealth to create lasting, meaningful impact that echoes long after you're gone.
Yeah, absolutely. With that $200 million net worth, he could have easily just, enjoyed a comfortable life, build his empire quietly.
The conventional path.
Totally. But instead, he consciously chose to leverage it. used his resources, his voice, those impactful visuals, his huge platform, to challenge one of the biggest, most ingrained problems in society. Unhealthy eating habits, especially in kids, directly confronting powerful interests.
And that 1.6 million signature petition we talked about.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a number, was it?
No way.
It was powerful, undeniable proof. When people are genuinely inspired by a clear mission, when they see a pathway to something better, they will act. They'll engage, they'll advocate, they'll demand change, even when it seems tough.
So for all of us listening, the takeaway feels incredibly clear and actually really empowering.
Yeah, how so?
Yeah.
Healthy eating isn't about chasing expensive diets or the latest superfood trend that promises miracles. It's fundamentally about reclaiming simple skills, often forgotten skills, that give families control back, control over their health, their kitchens, their futures.
Cooking as empowerment.
Exactly. Cooking is an act of empowerment, a basic life skill. And food education, like Jamie argued so passionately, it's a basic human right every single child deserves.
But his work also highlights that crucial point about patience, right? In our fast world.
Yeah, that's huge. Meaningful change, especially changing whole societies, takes time. It's a long game, a generational thing.
So those small, consistent actions matter.
Immensely. Teaching a kid to chop veggies, deliberately choosing fresh ingredients at the store, supporting your local school's efforts to improve lunches. These seemingly small steps, they compound over time. They lead to those generational shifts that really change health outcomes.
I think the most powerful takeaway for me is that real transformation starts with individuals. Jamie didn't wait for governments to fix everything first.
No, he didn't wait for permission.
He sparked change by showing what was possible, by vividly showing the problem, yes, but then offering tangible, actionable solutions. His story reminds us, no matter how big the challenge seems, one person's passion plus persistence plus the power of community, it can inspire a whole nation to think differently about food, about health, about its future.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening.
Go on.
Tonight, just take a moment. Take a really honest look at what's on your plate. Is it actually fueling your body, giving you energy? Or is it maybe over time draining it, contributing to feeling tired or unwell?
That's a good question to ask.
Because Jamie Oliver's revolution started with something incredibly simple, teaching one family how to cook from scratch, showing them the power of fresh food. And from that one act, it grew into this movement touching millions.
And you don't need the millions or the petition to start your own.
Exactly. You don't need $200 million or a global platform to start your own personal revolution. Right here, right now.
What could that look like?
Maybe cook one meal from scratch tonight. Choose fresh stuff. Keep it simple. Maybe take 5 minutes to teach your kids where their food actually comes from. Plant some herbs together.
Or share a healthy recipe you like with a neighbor, a friend. Spark something small in their kitchen.
Exactly. These small, deliberate steps, they create ripples. Ripples that reach way beyond your own kitchen, touching your family, your community, maybe eventually contributing to that bigger cultural shift.
And if this story resonated, if it sparked something,
Let us know. We'd love to hear how you are taking control of your food choices, because ultimately change begins when one person decides to act. Why not let that person be you?